this is Lenny. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be explaining to you how to make tag questions, as this is considered one of the confusing lessons in English grammar. So don't worry about that, because I will help you how to make it easier the way I can, so that you will not get confused anymore. But before that, I want you to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell right down below to get notified on the upcoming post. Now, at the right side of your screen, what do you see? It is a lovely flying bee, isn't it? Now, if you do agree, just say yes, it is. Or if you don't agree, just say no, it isn't. All right, that's good. Our lesson is about making tag questions. What is the use of tag question? What do you think? Tag question is used to confirm information. It is also used to check information. And lastly, it is used to ask for agreement. All right? But as what I have said earlier, that making tag question is a bit confusing lesson, so one has to have sound knowledge about auxiliary verbs. Now, what are these auxiliary verbs? So first, I have primary auxiliary verbs. What are these primary auxiliary verbs? So these include verb be, like am, is, are, were, been, have, and do. So has, or singular, have, it's plural in form, does, singular in form, do, plural in form, and did for past form. What about modal auxiliary verbs? What are these? These are must, shall, will, should, would, ought. Ought should go with preposition to, like ought to. And then can, could, may, and might. Now, there are rules in making tag question. First one is positive statement. Use a negative question tag. For example, it is cold, isn't it? It is cold is a positive statement. What makes it a positive statement? It is a positive statement because you can never see a negative word here like not or no. So again, it is cold is a positive statement, and it is separated by a comma. Now, in this case, since the statement is positive, your tag question would be negative. So it should be isn't it? So isn't here is a contraction of the words is not. So in writing tag question, it should be in contracted form. All right? So that's rule number one. Rule number two, for negative statement, again, use a positive question tag. Example, he isn't my brother. This statement is negative. What makes it negative? Because, take note of this, there is a word, isn't. Isn't, again, is a contraction of is not. So this makes the statement negative. So your tag should be in positive. So it goes like this, is he. Right. Now, how to form tag question? So first, you have to remember, if there is an auxiliary verb in the statement, you have to use it to form the tag question or the question tag. Example, I don't need to study, do I? Now, let's analyze this sentence. There is a word don't. Don't is a contraction form of do not. Now, do here is an auxiliary verb, primary auxiliary verb. Now, since it is negative, remember the rule for negative statement, you have to use positive tag. Now, since it is negative here, we make it positive in the question tag, so it becomes do. All right, so your tag question will be do I. So again, let me read to you the statement. I don't need to study, do I? Now another example here. Let's have a look. Jerome is watching movie. Is used in the statement. Remember, is an auxiliary verb. So therefore, you have to use this verb in making tag question. So now since is here is positive, now it becomes negative in the tag question. So is becomes isn't. So it goes like this. Isn't he? Now, as you have noticed, we use he in the tag question. He here, pronoun he, refers to the subject Jerome. Okay, remember, what is the gender of the subject Jerome here? So Jerome is male, so that's why we use pronoun he. All right, another example. The phone didn't ring. Okay, now what kind of statement is it? Is it positive or negative? Yes, this is negative. What makes it negative? Because of the presence of the word not. Didn't, the word didn't here makes a negative statement. So it's very clear that you begin your tag question with a positive word, which is did. All right. Now, what about the pronoun it here? Why do we use it instead of phone? So this is the rule. Phone is a thing, so we use it, pronoun it, in place of the noun phone. So that's why it is did. Okay, another example here, we have your sister hadn't met him before. Now, again, auxiliary had is used in the statement, and now it is in negative form, hadn't. So the statement here is negative. So begin your tag with positive word, which is had. Hadn't, it becomes positive, which is had. All right, and she here refers to the noun sister, which is the subject of the statement. So your tag now is this, had she. Again, your sister hadn't met him before, had she? All right, next rule. If the verb in the statement is a modal verb, use the modal to make the tag question. So remember those modal auxiliary verbs? All right, I hope you remember this time. So let me give you examples. First, they could hear me, couldn't they? Now, what is the modal verb used in the statement? Correct. It is could. Is it positive or negative? Positive. We will use negative in making tag questions. So couldn't, now we'll make it into negative. Now, what about pronoun they here? So there's no problem about that because we just copy the subject, which is the pronoun they. So in your tag question, it becomes couldn't they? All right, so again, for you to know, couldn't here is a contracted form of could not. Next example, you won't tell anyone, will you? Now, look at this statement. Is it negative or positive? By the way, want here is a contracted form of will not. So again, is this a negative statement or positive? It is a negative statement because of the word not. So want. Now, in your tag question, make it positive. So from will not or want, it will become will in the tag question. So just copy the subject, which is the pronoun you, and it will become will you. Again, you won't tell anyone, will you? All right, let's move on to the next rule. For this rule, if the auxiliary verb in the statement is am, the positive question tag is am, but the negative question tag is aren't. Okay, now let me explain to you the rule by giving these examples. So take for example, for this statement, I am never on time. Now, this statement is negative. What makes it negative? Do you have any ideas? Now, the word never here, again, the word never makes the statement negative. So since the statement is negative, your question tag should be positive. So just copy the auxiliary verb am and also copy the subject pronoun I. So your tag question will be am I? So negative statement, positive tag. What about a second example? Let us see. I am going to get my prize. Now, here, again, auxiliary verb am is used. Now, let's analyze the statement if it is positive or negative. Now, this statement is a positive statement. You can never see any word like never or not. So, it's very clear that your tag should be negative. So, how to make how to begin your tag? Your negative tag question. So remember, let's go back to the rule. For negative question tag, we use aren't I. Alright? It's different. Now in this first example, we use the auxiliary verb am because it is positive question tag. But in the case of negative question tag, you will not use am anymore, but instead you use are. But since the statement here is positive, so we will begin your tag with aren't to make it negative tag. Okay, so I am going to get my prize, aren't I? Perfect. Now, what about if there is no auxiliary verb in the statement? What will you do? Now, first, if the verb in the statement is present simple positive, use doesn't or don't. Does for singular verb, you know how to identify singular verb. If it ends with S, it's singular verb. Now, we use do for plural verb. How do you know if the verb is plural? It's very simple. It's without S. Alright? Singular verb with S, plural verb without S. That's a very simple technique that I want you to learn. Now, let's see the following examples. First, Sam eats cheese. Now, your tag question here begins with doesn't. Now, let me explain to you this one bit by bit. Now, In the statement, Sam eats cheese, what is the verb here? All right, eats is the verb here. Now, try to see the verb if it's singular or plural. Is it singular? Yes, it is. How do you know that it is a singular verb? Because eats ends with S. That's very easy. So since the verb in the statement is in singular form, use or begin your tag question with the verb does. All right? Now, in this case, it begins with doesn't. Why doesn't? Because as you remember, Sam eats cheese is a positive statement. So for this case, we use negative statement. So to make it negative, we'll make like this. Doesn't. So doesn't he? Now we use he here in place of the subject, which is Sam. Remember, consider the gender. Sam is a male, so therefore we use the pronoun he. Okay, another example. Teachers gather for a meeting. Okay, let's find out where's the verb here. The verb here is gather. Is it in singular or plural form? It is in plural form. Remember, it doesn't end with S. So very simple. For plural verb, we begin our tag question by using do. Now, back to the rule. The statement teachers gather for a meeting is a positive statement. So we use negative tag. So it begins with don't. So don't they? They here, pronoun they here is used in place of the subject teachers in the statement. So again, teachers gather for a meeting. Don't they? I hope it's clear to you. All right, let's move on to the second rule. If the verb in the statement is past simple positive, again, if the verb in the statement is past simple positive, use didn't, right? It's very easy. Now, example, I ate pasta yesterday. Ate here is past form of the verb eat. So as you can see, I have written here at the right side of your screen. Ate is a past form of the verb eat. Now, since it is in the past form, it's very easy. Begin your tag with the word did, and since the statement is positive, your tag should be negative, and it becomes now didn't. So, didn't I ate pasta yesterday, didn't I? Another example for this. Many students attended the class. The verb here is attended. So it's very clear that the verb is in the past form. How do you know that it's in the past form? Now, it's a kind of regular verb. Remember, it's very easy to remember the regular verb because you just add ed in forming their past form. So it's very easy. So again, this statement is positive, so you use negative tag. So your did, make it negative, it becomes didn't. So your tag question now is didn't they? Again, let me read to you again the statement. Many students attended the class, didn't they? All right. Okay. Now, for the last rule we have here, in case, words like nobody, somebody, everybody, no one, someone, or everyone are used as subject in the sentence, use they in the tag. All right, use they in the tag. Example, nobody asked for me, did they? All right, your verb here is asked. Again, asked is past form. Yeah, it's because of the word ed added to the verb ask, so we use did to make it positive tag. And then since the subject here is nobody, remember, in case nobody is used as subject in the sentence, you use they in the tag. So we replace nobody with the word they. So your tag question now becomes, did they? Okay, let me read to you the statement. Nobody asked for me, did they? Okay, now always remember the rules. Positive statement, negative tag. Negative statement, positive tag. Auxiliary verb is used in the statement, begin the tag question with an auxiliary verb. If there is no auxiliary verb in the statement, begin the tag question with does, do, or did. Auxiliary verb in the statement is am, positive question tag is am I, negative question tag is aren't I. Now, in case these words are used as a subject in the statement, like nobody, somebody, everybody, no one, someone, or everyone is used as subject, use they in the tag. All right, let's do some exercises. I didn't say anything about. So all you have to do is to make tag questions for the following sentences. So that's number 1. For number 2, I wasn't upset. Number 3, they should have turned right. Number 4, none of the machines are working. Number 5, I'm going to see the river. Number 6, she can't buy a pair of shoes. 7, you usually drive a car. And then the last one, Roldan and Jessica had been fighting each other for months. So I'll give you, I think, 5 minutes to think of the correct answers. And then, yeah. All right. Are you ready to give your answers now? All right. So let's answer number 1. What do you think is the correct answer for this statement? Okay, the correct tag question for this statement is, did I? Take note, the word here is didn't, so it makes the statement negative, so therefore your tag questions should be positive. I wasn't upset, so your tag should be positive, so the answer is, was I? Next, they should have turned right. So modal auxiliary verb is used here, which is should, positive. So your tag should be negative and it becomes shouldn't they? No, and then number 4, take note, the subject is none here. So let's see. The correct answer is, are they? It's very easy. Are is used in the statement, so you have to use are in making tag question and replace the word none with the word they. Okay. Next, I'm going to see the river. The correct answer is aren't I? Because the statement here is negative and it uses an auxiliary verb am, so it's positive statement, so your negative should be your tag should be negative. So for negative tag, use aren't. Remember the rule for if you are using am in the statement, if you try to make tag question, you have to use aren't. So it becomes aren't I. Next, she can't buy a pair of shoes. Correct answer is can she? So it's very simple. Can't here is negative. You just make it into positive. So write can. So you will have a positive tag. Next, you usually drive a car. In this case, there is no auxiliary verb being used in the statement. So you have to think whether you have to use do, does, or did. Now, take note. The verb drive here is in plural form. So in case plural form of the verb is used in the sentence, so begin your tag with the verb to. So since the statement is positive, your tag question should be negative. So do becomes don't. So you just copy the subject, which is the pronoun you. All right, last number. We have Roldan and Jessica had been fighting each other for months. So again, auxiliary verb is used here, which is had. So it's positive, make it negative. Tag, it becomes hadn't. So since you have two subjects here, which are Roldan and Jessica, use plural pronoun they. So your tag now becomes hadn't they. Alright, so for your assessments, I'm giving you 8 statements here. So you have to think of the correct tag question for each item. So again, I'll give you maybe 5 minutes is fine to do the assessment. Alright. These are the answers to the assessment. Number 1, your eyes have been looking like that for an hour, haven't they? Number 2, she doesn't eat all the foods, does she? Number 3, children are walking to school, aren't they? Number 4, I am writing a poem for you, aren't I? Number 5, he was my music teacher, wasn't he? And number 6, you remember me? You remember me, don't you? Number 7, she can't speak Arabic, can she? Number 8, visitors must not or mustn't come early, must they? Alright, so did you get a perfect score? Well, good job. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you for your time. This has been your friend Lani D. Ramos. If you have some questions, just follow the link www.facebook.com/Lani English Teacher. Goodbye.